Hi, I'm Marcus and welcome back to another episode of jPlay. Not so sure if you recognize it, but this is the German edition of the Hunger Games. And of course this is a licensed game to the movie or to book series, but this is really closely licensed to the movies with all the artwork and so on. And as the second part will show up in Germany sooner or later, or it's already out, I have not checked really, I thought, okay, it might be a good idea to have a look again at this nice little game here from Kosmos. I think it's really only licensed to the first part of the movie, so I don't know if there will be a licensed game for the second part as well. I will also do something different today. I'm not, let's say, do a rule explanation video. I would also not do a playthrough session or complete playthrough session. I would call this more or less a walkthrough on Hyperspeed. So I will show you 2, 3, 4 turns and whatever, come to a final conclusion, show you how the game ends, explain some of the components, and I will really try to have that in under 10 minutes. This excludes, of course, this introduction. But don't take me serious on that. I'm not so sure if I will be able to cut that appropriately. Still, I hope you will enjoy this, and let's have a look what comes with the Hunger Games. Component-wise, the game is relatively transparent. There are some of these resource cards, there are some special character cards, of course the game board, a round token, these reaping decks and the player colors, some player pawns, these little tokens here that represent the player color, and that's more or less it. So let's do the basic preparations. Each player gets 3 cards from the resource deck, and there are special resource cards available, so some of these starting cards, and they show this little fire icon or the Hunger Games icon here, and these are being shuffled and giving 3 to each player. Each player gains 1 special card, and this is something like a starting advantage, you'd call that. And for example, blue gets the Greasy, say here, then we have Gale, and we have Peter, and we have Prim. I have to admit I haven't read the books. I have watched the movie only once, so I'm not really into the whole story. I kind of like the theme, that's for sure, and I'm really thinking of reading the books, but up to now I haven't. As a last thing, each player puts one of his reaping cards here at the glass ball, and this more or less represents the lottery or the drawing. And by the end of the game, 1 card is drawn from this deck, so this deck can grow throughout the game, and whoever or whose card is being drawn from the game has lost it. That's kind of nice. It can really be depressing, so you might be in the lead, but still in the end your card is drawn, so you're not able to win this game. To actually win this game, you have to have the most victory points, and each of these resource cards show a value here, and this card, for example, is worth 3 victory points by the end of the game if you're able to keep it. Let's give one player the starting player token. Let's start with blue here. Normally the first thing the starting player would have to do is to move the round token, but we are not going to do that during the first round, of course. So let's start the game. Blue already sees something nice here at the capital storage, so he goes there. Only 1 player is allowed, so it's only 1 circle below that card, and he's now allowed to exchange 1 card from his hand with 1 card from the discard pile here. And as he has a food card that's only worth 1 victory point, he's going to exchange that with a card that's worth 2 victory points. Red goes to the bakery, and he's taking the medicine card that's worth 2 victory points. Yellow decides to go to the forest. He's now allowed to draw 3 cards, and he would be allowed to keep 1 food card, and he's lucky there is a food card, so he can take that. The 2 remaining cards are being sent to the discard pile at the capital storage. Green goes to the Everdeen house. Normally you would be allowed to draw only 1 card and keep it, but because he has the special card Brim, he can take 2 cards and can decide which one to take. So let's have a look. So that's some fuel, worth 1 victory point. That's clothing, worth 2 victory points. So of course we will go with the clothing. Again, the remaining card is sent to the discard pile. That's already round 1. Let's go to round number 2. First thing to do is to give 1 card to each spot at the bakery, and that's a nice spot. Additionally, there will be 2 more cards here at the hub. but they're being dealt secretly. Blue definitely wants to go to the bakery, and he's allowed to take both of these cards. Red decides to go to the forest because of his special ability called Gale, so basically the character. He would be allowed to take either one food or one medicine. So let's draw our 3 cards. That's a medicine card, a food card, and another food card, and guess what? He will go for this food card that's worth 3 victory points. Yellow goes to the capital storage and he's allowed to exchange 1 card, so he's giving this food card back to the storage and takes this medicine card that's worth 2 victory points. Green definitely needs food, so he goes to the forest. Again, he can draw 3 cards, a food card, another food card, and another food card, and yeah, I think we will take the food card that's worth 3 victory points. Again, end of round, we coming to round number 3. Again, there will be 2 cards for the bakery, one on the left side, one on the right hand side. Wow, that's a card worth 3 victory points. Additionally, we will have to draw 2 of these special cards now. The first card would be a Katniss bow, and we have to put that beside the forest. So each player now deciding to go to the forest has to think of either taking this card and exchanging this with a special card he currently has in hand. So you're only allowed to have 1 of these special cards, but then he's not allowed to use the normal activity on the field. And this bow is pretty cool because it gives you additional victory points for food cards. For example, a food card that's normally worth 3 victory points is worth 5 victory points by the end of the game, and a card with 2 victory points is worth 3 victory points, so that's definitely not too bad. The second special acting card is this access to the capital storage, and this says that each of your clothing card is worth 2 additional victory points by the end of the game. I think blue wants to have this bow, so he goes to the forest, takes this bow, and will discard his starting special card, Greasy Say, and has now the bow. Additionally, during round 3, 6, 9 and 12, the players would be allowed to exchange resource cards, but as I'm playing alone, I won't do that, just to keep you informed. Red definitely wants to go to the bakery and grab these 2 cards. Yellow is still a little bit short on food, so he also decides to go to the forest. He grabs 3 cards, that's clothing, that's medicine, and this is another clothing, though he's not allowed to keep a card. And I think green goes to the bakery and grabs this food card. Again, end of round, we are coming to phase number 4. First thing that will happen, the starting player token moves to the player to the left, which I will do. And you can see I'm definitely a rebel, as I have given this starting player token to the player on my right. And then each player has to give 1 food card basically to represent his personal needs. And here it doesn't matter which value the actual card is, only the type has to fit. And of course, as you need as many victory points as possible by the end of the game, it might be a good idea to discard a card that's not worth so many victory points. In case one of the players does not want to give his, let's say, high value card to or discard one of his high value cards, then he might also be able to drop 1 additional reaping card at the glass ball and increase his chance to actually lose the game, like the yellow player here in this case. And you have to give 1 reaping card to the glass ball for each card that you're not able to satisfy. So in this case, the worst thing that could happen is 3 additional of these reaping cards in the glass ball from your player hand. The last thing that is going to happen, each player now has to reduce his card hand to 6 cards. And so the game goes on. Placing figures, exchanging cards, grabbing cards from the Everdeen house, placing special cards, and discarding the needs that are showing on the round field. When you are past the 12th round, the only thing that will happen, each player again has to discard these requirements, has to reduce his hand size to 6 cards. Then we shuffle the reaping cards that are in the glass bowl. And then we just draw 1 card, and this player has actually lost the game. Wow, that's really depressing. The remaining players are just counting their remaining resource cards, add that up, take into the consideration their special ability, like this Katniss bow here, for example, that increases the value of food cards, at least at certain food cards. and whoever has the most victory point wins the game. Yeah! And this ends my Hyperspeed episode of jPlay through the Hunger Games. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope some of the rules got clear to you. My final thoughts on this game: there are really some actually very good mechanisms. The most really depressing part in this game is when you're really doing a good job doing the game, whatever, good to manage your special resource cards and so on, and then still your card is being drawn from the glass wall and you actually lose the game. Thematically is completely close to this movie basically, and not to the book, but I think this is the normal way of a licensed game. But I think for fans of the series this might be, let's say, at least a nice little filler game. My next playthrough will be, let's say, a complete playthrough again, and I'm considering to do a playthrough of The Walking Dead, the board game. I'm really looking forward to this one. I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos, and until then, bye bye.